If you are over 60 and you believe walking is the best exercise you can do for your body, I want you to pause for a moment and listen very carefully, because what I'm about to share could completely change how you think about your strength, your balance, your energy, your independence, and even the quality of the years ahead. For a long time, many people were told the same thing: just walk. Walk every day, stay active, keep moving, and that will be enough to age well. And to be fair, walking is wonderful. It supports your heart, helps your mood, improves circulation, and gives you a gentle way to stay active. But if walking is the only exercise you are doing after 60, there is a very important piece of the puzzle missing. And that missing piece is strength. Because here is the truth that many people do not hear soon enough. After 60, your body does not just need movement, it needs resistance. It needs a reason to keep muscle. It needs a signal that says, stay strong, stay steady, stay capable. And there is one simple movement that gives your body that signal better than walking alone. It is not complicated. It is not expensive. It does not require a gym membership. It does not require athletic ability. And it can be done safely at home in just a few minutes a day. That movement is the chair squat. Yes, something as simple as sitting down and standing back up from a chair, done with control and consistency, can become one of the most powerful exercises for people over 60. It strengthens your legs, it wakes up your hips, it trains your balance, it builds confidence, it helps you move better in everyday life, and perhaps most importantly, it trains one of the most essential skills for independent living: the ability to rise with strength and lower with control. So today, I want to show you why this one exercise may be more valuable than walking alone for many adults over 60, how to do it safely, how often to practice it, how to adjust it if your knees or back are sensitive, and how to turn it into a simple daily habit that can genuinely transform the way your body feels. If you are new here, welcome. This channel is all about simple, science-informed health and fitness guidance for strong, energetic, and independent living after 50, 60, and beyond. And if you're returning, thank you for being here again. I truly appreciate your time, your trust, and your commitment to taking care of yourself. Now let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever gone for regular walks and still felt that your legs were getting weaker? Have you ever noticed that even if you stay active, you still feel shaky getting up from a chair, climbing stairs, stepping off a curb, or standing for long periods? Have you ever thought, I'm moving every day, so why do I still feel less stable than I used to? If so, you are not imagining it, and you are not alone. Millions of older adults walk every day and still struggle with muscle loss, reduced balance, slower reactions, poor posture, and fatigue. That is not because walking is bad. It is because walking, by itself, does not challenge the body in the same way that daily life does. Walking is mostly a forward motion activity. It repeats the same pattern over and over. It is excellent for light endurance, circulation, and mental well-being. But it does not place enough demand on your major muscle groups to significantly preserve or rebuild strength, especially as you age. And after 60, strength matters more than most people realize. As we get older, the body naturally begins to lose muscle mass. This process is often called age-related muscle loss, and it affects much more than appearance. Muscle is not just about looking fit. Muscle protects your joints. Muscle helps stabilize your bones. Muscle supports healthy blood sugar control. Muscle gives you the power to catch yourself if you trip. Muscle helps you rise from the toilet, get out of bed, carry groceries, climb steps, and move through life with freedom. Without enough strength, even simple daily tasks begin to feel heavier. That is why one of the strongest predictors of healthy aging is not just how much you move, but how well you can move. Can you stand up confidently? Can you sit down with control? Can you climb a few steps without fear? Can you recover your balance if you stumble? Can you get up from a low chair without needing both hands? These are not small questions. These are independence questions. And that is exactly why the chair squat matters so much. Every time you rise from a chair, you are doing a real-life strength movement. You are lifting a large percentage of your body weight against gravity. Your legs, hips, glutes, and core all have to work together. Your brain has to coordinate the motion. Your balance system has to keep you steady. Your posture muscles have to support your spine. It is practical strength training built into one of the most common movements of everyday life. Walking does not train that pattern in the same direct way. That is why a person can walk every day and still struggle to get up from a soft sofa or low chair. It is not laziness. It is not weakness of character. It is simply that the body adapts to what it practices, and if it never practices standing up with effort, it slowly loses the capacity to do it well. Now, before you think, that sounds good, but I'm too old, or my knees won't allow it, or I haven't exercised in years, let me reassure you. The chair squat is one of the most adjustable and beginner-friendly exercises available. In fact, physical therapists often use sit-to-stand training as a foundational exercise in rehabilitation, fall prevention, and mobility programs because it is functional, scalable, and measurable. You are not jumping. You are not twisting. You are not putting yourself in a risky position. You are using a chair for guidance and safety. You control how low you go. You control how fast you move. You control how many repetitions you do. The exercise meets you where you are. And that matters, because sustainable fitness after 60 is not about punishing your body. It is about teaching your body to trust itself again. So let's talk about how to do this movement correctly. Start with a sturdy chair that does not slide. Sit near the front edge of the seat, not all the way back. Place your feet flat on the floor, about hip width to shoulder width apart. Your knees should generally point in the same direction as your toes. Sit tall through your chest. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Look straight ahead, not down at the floor. From there, lean slightly forward from your hips. This is important because it helps shift your body weight into the right position. Then, press through your heels and midfoot and stand up slowly. Do not rush. Think about pushing the floor away. At the top, stand tall, but do not lock your knees aggressively. Then reverse the movement with control. Push your hips back, bend your knees, and lower yourself slowly until you gently touch the chair and sit down. That is one repetition. If you need extra support, place your hands lightly on the chair arms or on your thighs at first. That is not failure. That is smart progression. As you get stronger, you can reduce the amount of support you use. Eventually, many people are able to do the movement with their arms crossed over their chest. And here is something very encouraging. The goal is not to start perfectly. The goal is to start safely and keep practicing. Because this exercise does not just build muscle, it builds skill. It teaches your nervous system how to coordinate effort. It improves your body awareness. It trains the exact pattern you use in daily life. Over time, movements that once felt heavy and uncertain begin to feel smoother and more natural. That is one of the most beautiful things about functional exercise. It gives back what everyday life takes away. Now let's talk about why this one movement is so powerful for the aging body. As we get older, several things begin to change. Muscle fibers shrink if they are not challenged. Reaction time can slow. Joint stiffness may increase. Hormonal support for muscle maintenance becomes less robust. Some people move less because of pain or fear, and less movement often leads to more weakness. It becomes a cycle. Weakness leads to caution. Caution leads to less movement. Less movement leads to more weakness. The chair squat interrupts that cycle. Every repetition sends a message through your muscles and your nervous system. We still need power. We still need control. We still need coordination. We still need stability. And when your body receives that signal again and again, it begins to adapt. That adaptation may not happen overnight, but it happens. Your muscles begin to work more efficiently. Your joints become better supported. Your movement becomes more confident. Your balance improves because your body is learning how to control weight shifts. Your posture improves because your core and hips are being asked to contribute. Your endurance improves because even a simple, repeated sit-to-stand effort challenges your cardiovascular system more than many people expect. In other words, you are not just training your legs, you are training your entire system to function better. And that has enormous real-world value. Imagine waking up and getting out of bed without that heavy, unstable feeling in your legs. Imagine using the toilet without needing to push hard through your hands. Imagine standing up from the dinner table with less effort. Imagine climbing stairs with more confidence. Imagine walking outside and feeling less afraid of losing your balance. Imagine saying yes to outings, travel, family events, or errands because your body feels more capable again. That is what this is really about. It is not about chasing some unrealistic image of fitness. It is not about trying to train like you're 25. It is about protecting your freedom. It is about preserving dignity. It is about making everyday life easier. And perhaps one of the most important benefits of all is what this movement does for confidence. Many adults over 60 live with a quiet fear of falling. Sometimes it is spoken, and sometimes it is not. But it changes behavior. People avoid certain movements. They move more slowly. They stop trusting their body. They hold furniture more often. They turn down invitations. They stay home more. Their world becomes smaller, not because they want it to, but because their body no longer feels reliable. Chair squats can help rebuild that trust. Why? Because you are practicing control in a safe environment. You are rehearsing one of the most important movement patterns for daily life. You are learning how to move your body up and down with steadiness. And every successful repetition becomes evidence that your body is still trainable, still adaptable, still capable of improvement. That emotional shift matters, because when the body feels more capable, the mind often becomes more hopeful. And when hope returns, consistency becomes easier. Now, I also want to address something very important: joint concerns. A lot of people hear the word squat and immediately think of deep gym squats, heavy weights, knee strain, or something that feels intimidating. But a chair squat is not that. It is a supported, practical version of a natural human movement. Done properly, it can actually be gentler on the joints than many people expect. Why? Because the goal is controlled loading, not impact. Your muscles help absorb force. There is no jumping, there is no pounding, there is no sudden twisting. You can choose a range of motion that feels comfortable for your knees and hips. A higher chair makes the movement easier. A slightly slower pace makes it more controlled. Light support with the hands can reduce stress while still allowing your legs to work. If your knees are sensitive, you do not need to drop low. If your hips are stiff, you keep the movement smaller at first. If your balance is uncertain, you position the chair near a countertop or wall for extra confidence. You can even place a cushion on the seat to make the chair a little higher in the beginning. The point is not depth. The point is practice. The point is not proving something. The point is improving something. And that is such an important mindset shift, especially later in life. Now you might be wondering, how often should I do this? A simple place to begin is with one small set of 5 to 10 repetitions, depending on your current ability, a few times per week. Some people may start with just 3 repetitions. That is perfectly fine. Others may begin with 10 or even 15. The right number is the number you can do with good control and without joint pain. If it feels manageable, you can practice once a day. If daily feels like too much, aim for 3 to 4 days per week. The key is regularity, not intensity. And this is where many people underestimate the power of small habits. 5 minutes a day may not sound dramatic, but repeated over weeks and months, it can be life-changing. Your body responds to repeated signals. Gentle, frequent practice often works better than occasional heroic effort. One exhausting workout that leaves you sore for a week is far less helpful than a small routine you can actually maintain. Consistency builds strength. Consistency builds coordination. Consistency builds confidence. And confidence makes everything else easier. Let's also talk about breathing, because it makes a difference. When you stand up, gently breathe out. When you lower yourself down, breathe in. This simple rhythm can help you stay relaxed, support your core, and avoid holding your breath. Holding your breath during effort can make you feel tense or lightheaded, especially if you are older or have blood pressure concerns. Calm breathing helps the movement feel steadier and more controlled. Now, once this basic version begins to feel easier, there are safe ways to make it a little more effective without needing equipment. One of the best progressions is simply slowing down the lowering phase. Instead of dropping into the chair, lower yourself over 3 slow seconds. 1, 2, 3. That slow descent builds control, challenges the thighs and hips, and teaches your body how to manage gravity. Another progression is to pause for a brief moment just above the chair before sitting fully. That tiny pause can make the muscles work much harder while still keeping the movement safe. You can also increase repetitions gradually. If you start with 5 and that becomes easy, move to 6 or 7. If 10 feels comfortable after a couple of weeks, go to 12. Small increases are enough. You do not need to chase exhaustion. You need to build capacity. Now let's bring walking back into the conversation, because I want to be very clear. Walking still matters. Walking is wonderful for circulation, mood, fresh air, light endurance, and mental clarity. It can reduce stress, support heart health, and keep you connected to your environment. It is valuable, but it should not be asked to do a job it was never designed to do. Walking is not a complete strength program. So instead of asking, should I walk or do chair squats, a better question is, how can I combine both in a smart way? Here is the answer. Let walking support your cardiovascular health and let chair squats support your strength and function. Think of walking as care for your heart and your mind. Think of chair squats as care for your muscles, your bones, your balance, and your independence. Together, they create a much more complete approach to aging well. You might do a few chair squats before your walk to wake up your legs. You might do them after your walk while your body is already warm. You might do them at home on days when you do not feel like going outside. You might add them before breakfast, after brushing your teeth, or during a commercial break in the evening. The easier you make the habit fit into normal life, the more likely it is to stick. And once it sticks, it becomes part of who you are. You are no longer someone trying to exercise. You are someone who practices strength every day in a simple, realistic way. That identity shift is powerful because lasting health habits are rarely built on motivation alone. They are built on routine, simplicity, and repetition. And I also want to say something from the heart to anyone listening who feels discouraged. Maybe your body does not feel the way it used to. Maybe you have pain. Maybe you have tried to start exercise before and stopped. Maybe you feel embarrassed by how difficult simple movements have become. Maybe you are thinking, it's too late for me. Please hear me clearly. It is not too late. You do not have to become a different person overnight. You do not have to join a gym. You do not have to do intense workouts. You do not have to compare yourself to anyone else. You only have to take the next doable step. And sometimes that next step is simply standing up from a chair 5 times with intention. That is enough to begin. Progress is often quieter than people expect. First, you notice a little less wobbling. Then you notice your legs feel more awake. Then you realize you did not push off the chair as hard as before. Then you notice stairs feel slightly easier. Then one day you stand up and realize, that felt different. That felt better. Those small wins matter more than people think, because small wins create momentum, and momentum creates change. Now, there is one mistake I want you to avoid, because it can slow progress and make the exercise less effective. The mistake is rushing. Many people drop into the chair too quickly or bounce up without control. But the power of this movement is not just in completing the repetition. It is in owning the movement. Control is the secret. Slow down enough to feel your muscles working. Lower yourself with care. Stand up with intention. Let your body learn the full pattern. Fast movement can hide weakness. Slow movement reveals it and improves it. So if you want better results, do not ask, how many can I do quickly? Ask, how well can I do each one? That one shift in mindset can change everything. And now, let me show you how this can become a complete 5-minute daily routine without ever getting on the floor. Start with 1 minute of gentle marching in place or standing heel raises while holding the back of a chair. This warms up your legs and gets blood flowing. Then do your chair squats for 1 to 2 minutes, depending on your pace and rest needs. Focus on quality, not speed. After that, stand behind the chair and hold the back lightly while practicing slow side-to-side weight shifts or gentle balance holds for 1 minute. Then finish with another minute of relaxed walking around the room or in place, combined with deep breathing. That is it. Simple, practical, repeatable. A routine like that can support your legs, hips, posture, circulation, and confidence without overwhelming your body. And if you only do one part of it, let the chair squats be that one part, because that single movement offers such a strong return on effort. It trains strength where you need it most. It supports function where life demands it most. It gives you a clear way to measure progress. And most importantly, it reminds your body that it is still meant to rise. Now, I also want to be responsible and say this clearly. If you have severe joint pain, recent surgery, dizziness, uncontrolled medical conditions, or a history that makes exercise risky, speak with your doctor or physical therapist before beginning something new. Safety comes first. Mild muscular effort is normal. Sharp pain is not. Light challenge is helpful. Forcing through pain is not. Always respect your body, but do not underestimate it. Because the aging body is far more adaptable than many people have been led to believe, it may need patience, it may need gentleness, it may need progression, but it can still change, it can still gain strength, it can still improve coordination, it can still surprise you. And that may be the most hopeful message of all. You are not too old to respond to the right stimulus. You are not too far gone to build meaningful strength. You are not fragile simply because you have aged. Your body still listens to what you ask of it. The question is, what signal are you sending? If the only signal is easy movement, your body adapts to easy movement. But if you begin sending a signal of controlled effort, repeated consistently, your body starts building the qualities you need most: strength, steadiness, confidence, resilience. That is why this one movement matters so much. It is not flashy, it is not trendy, it is not complicated, but it is effective. And in many cases, effective is exactly what people over 60 need. So if walking has been your main form of exercise up to now, keep walking if you enjoy it. But do not stop there. Add strength, add purpose. Add this simple practice that trains your body for real life. Because healthy aging is not just about moving more, it is about moving better. It is about keeping the strength to do the things that matter. It is about preserving the freedom to live on your own terms. And sometimes that freedom begins with something as simple as standing up from a chair with control. So here is my encouragement to you. Sometime today, find a sturdy chair and try just 5 careful repetitions. No pressure, no perfection, just practice. Let that be your starting point. And if 5 feels like a lot, do 3. If 3 feels like a lot, do 1. What matters is that you begin. Because the body changes when the habit begins. And the habit begins with one decision, one repetition, one day, then another, and another. Before long, those small efforts add up to something bigger. A steadier walk, a stronger rise, a calmer mind, a more confident body, and a life that feels more open again. If this message helped you, I'd love for you to stay connected. There is so much more we can do together to support strong, energetic, and independent aging. And if you want, I can also help you turn this exact concept into an even stronger YouTube format with a more emotional hook, better retention points, and stronger call to action sections. But for now, remember this: your age does not cancel your potential. Your past does not decide your future, and your body is still capable of meaningful improvement when you give it the right movement, the right consistency, and the right belief. Start small, stay steady, trust the process, and rise stronger, one chair squat at a time.